Thank you, Madam Speaker. As we've been discussing, the Premier is concentrating power, cutting out experts and planners, and giving some developers a fast lane to build without regard for things like tenders or oversight, and with virtually no strings attached. But meanwhile, it's extremely difficult for families to get a construction loan to build their first home. And the government program designed to help them hasn't been updated in over a decade, and I'll table that. With mortgage rates rising and building costs rising, will the Premier also help families and improve the eligibility under the Family Modest Housing Program so that they can build for themselves?
I recognize the Honourable Premier.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And everything we do is focused on families, is focused on Nova Scotians. In fact, I think just yesterday, the Minister of Housing announced a loan program for granny suites on properties. That's an important announcement. You know, we have made a number of investments in housing. We put families, Nova Scotians, are at the very core of everything we do. There's more work to be done on housing, for sure. I wish the provincial government of Nova Scotia could control world interest rates and world inflation, but we can't. But we deal with what's in front of us, and we step up every single day and support Nova Scotians.
I recognize the Honourable Leader of the NDP on her first supplementary.
Yesterday's announcement will help families who can invest enough to rent out a property, but my question is about families building for themselves, and I want to know why the Premier is so reluctant to help families build, buy, or keep their own housing when he's giving over $100 million in benefits plus easy access to developers with no evidence that it will lower rents or the cost of housing for people. Meanwhile, he won't even establish a simple residential tenancies enforcement branch that has been asked for by landlords and renters and experts to make sure that at least everyone is playing by the same rules. Why is the Premier so reluctant to help regular Nova Scotians afford housing?
I recognize the Honourable Premier.
Madam Speaker, in fact, the bill that is before the House around HRM planning does exactly this, gets housing built. The special planning area is about getting things approved that have been sitting, languishing for 10 years, 12 years or something. You know, there's a number of areas, and one of the areas is very close to the members area where there'll be 800 to 1,000 families will live in homes in that area, and that member has been against that since the beginning. I wish they would never build there. Madam Speaker, the reality is, Madam Speaker, is that we have a situation with the HRM where staff have advised to council that projects should go forward, and council says not happening. People, the proponents, appeal to the UARB. The UARB decides in favor. We just want to cut it out. We want housing built. That's all we want. Ask the member to stand with us.
Honourable Member, Leader of NDP.
God forbid a member should suggest that we take environmental protections into account when building. And for the record, which I will table tomorrow, my comments were that we could build and protect a wetland, but this Premier is too impatient to do that. The kicker, Madam Speaker, is that it's not even clear that this approach is going to have any impact. I have a line out the door of people in my office asking when the affordable housing at Southdale Mount Hope is built, and what we tell them is it's not. No one who has come to our office for housing will ever be able to afford to live in that development. Single detached housing starts have plunged this year under this Premier's watch, down 34% from this time last year in Halifax, and not one family is living in an affordable unit that was built because of a special planning area. Clearly, the Premier's plan is not helping regular Nova Scotians. Who is he trying to help?
The Honourable Premier.
The reality is, I wish I could snap my fingers and a house would be built tonight. It can't be. We know that the interest rates are having an impact on housing starts, for sure. If I could fix the interest rates, I would. If I could build a house tonight, I would build one. We need people to build houses. That's why we have the MOST program. I wish the opposition would get behind that crazy innovative program that is helping people. That's why we made the changes to the apprentice program. That's why we're removing HST from building. That's why we're saying to HRM and other municipalities, get moving. What needs to be built should be built. I ask the members opposite to stand with Nova Scotians, put the partisan hack shots to the side, and let's get some housing built for Nova Scotians.